My name is Heidy Canales. I'm a sophomore majoring in public relations, and I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland. And I just honestly hope to get a fantastic job getting out of college. Not really sure what I want to do exactly, which is a little bit oh, maybe I should know, but I'm working through it. So I have interests that are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. So I've done stuff in social justice and advocacy work, but then I've also done things in media, entertainment, and sports. So I guess in a perfect world, I would want to do something that combines both. So possibly maybe doing community outreach with big media companies, or working with maybe the different sports industries, and also doing community outreach and working with the communities and giving back in that sense. Okay, so I'm currently the community representative for the Latino caucus here on campus, and so through Latino caucus I'm able to represent a huge portion of the Penn State community that people don't really pay attention to, which is Latino students. And so being the community representative means that I have a seat at the table in the student government on campus. So I'm also a representative in the University Park Undergraduate Association. So I get to kind of merge my identity as a Latina and then my passion for advocacy and service through the student government. And then in the one position, I'm able to just bring them together. So that's where the whole advocacy service side of me shines, I guess you can say. Last summer I did the DC Social Justice Fellowship. So through that I was able to go to DC and teach high school students about different social justice issues and initiatives, and basically just kind of teach them how to become advocates and how to not be afraid to use your voice in a setting. So most of the students that I taught were students of color, so people that look just like me, which was honestly so great because we had conversations about topics that honestly high school students are not asked about enough, like immigration, mental health, sexual violence, those type of things. And it was huge to see the way that students reacted and how passionate they are even about these types of issues. One of my biggest fears was actually that they weren't going to be engaged. So especially I never saw myself being a teacher or doing anything with education or anything like that. So that was my biggest fear, oh my gosh, what if the students don't respond? What if we have this whole lesson plan and they're just don't want to participate? But honestly, they were very engaged, and the way I could tell was their answers. So when we had a conversation about mental health in communities of color, you could tell that these students had never been asked a genuine how are you? Are you okay? How is life? Because I feel in communities of color it's very easy for your problems not to be taken into account just because they're not real problems or you don't pay bills. Those themes are very prominent in communities of color. And it was just crazy to see that it's still going on today. All of the students that I had the chance to speak to, they all said my parents have told me my problems aren't real problems because I don't pay bills. My problems, they're not real because I'm still in school. Or so those type of things. And having them open up and seeing that they're not alone, because they had classmates around them as well that were saying the same things. And you could tell that day they got a lot more out of their school day.